Hey guys, it's Mark here and we're back with another video, and today I have the Redmi 9T, which is the cheapest phone that you can buy with a 6000 mAh battery. By the time the video is out, the Redmi Note 10 is out, which is quite similar to the 9T. So without further ado, let's get it started. If you haven't watched the unboxing video, I'll link it up to the iCard above, so let's get the device design started. As you can see, the device looks really great. The back of the device doesn't look too bad, it gives out a premium side of look and feel, and the plastic we all know is basically unavoidable given at this price point. The texturized back doesn't feel the same as the Redmi 9, as the Redmi 9 you can feel the texture itself, as this mixed texture is there but it's not very obvious when you hold it. The back of the phone has the Redmi branding name on it on the lower left side of the device, which may or may not be your liking depending on how much you like the brand. On top of the device is the top dual speaker, audio jack, and the IR blaster, which I'm still glad is still there. On the left side of the device is SIM tray, which you'll be happy to learn is no longer a hybrid SIM tray from Xiaomi anymore. And on the right side is a fingerprint scanner embedded to the power button and the volume rocker. The fingerprint is quite slow. I wouldn't say it's super slow, but it's also not super fast. Plus the fingerprint side feels a little bit flimsy. Maybe it's just me. And at the bottom of the device is a microphone, USB charging port, and the loudspeaker grill. The dual firing speaker at the bottom and at the top is loud, plus it's a rarity for a budget device to have a dual firing speaker. So the sound quality is basically quite average, okay-ish, which isn't that bad. It's actually quite balanced in a way, but not that super balanced as well. So it's like on the okay side. The device is running on MIUI, and there is some things I really do not like and some things I do like. And the device does comes with some bloatware, and I know I can uninstall those, but we all know to get updates for the MIUI 12.5 to remove all those default apps. Lol. The Redmi 9T uses a 6.53-inch IPS LCD display with a water drop notch at the top. It's one of those few phones in this price range that utilize Full HD Plus panels, since it's more common to see budget utilize lower resolution panel for budget devices. What makes me not really happy, they still go for the water drop notch. It could be better if they opted out for the punch hole display. The display isn't really stellar, but it's good enough for outdoors if you turn it all the way up. I would say the display is better than Redmi 9. That being said, it's better than some display that we've seen on other budget phones. The Redmi 9T is packed with a huge 6000 mAh power battery that supports 18 watts fast charging via USB Type-C. On top of the huge battery capacity, the inbox charger also has a 22.5 watts rating, which makes the recharging from 0 to 100% takes about an hour 50 or maybe 2, which is considerably fast for a huge battery like that. I'm able to squeeze out 2 full days of the device with casual use at home and still be left with 32% of the battery at the end of the day. Since we are under movement control order or conditional movement control order, the device could still give me a day and a half usage, which is pretty great. The Redmi 9T is running on a Snapdragon 662, which was announced like a year ago, and it's built with not performance but power efficiency in mind. It comes with 2 variants in Malaysia, which is the 64GB of storage with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage with 6GB of RAM. The one I have here is 128GB of storage with 6GB of RAM. The phone itself does suffer a little bit of delay when it comes to opening apps, but like on a rare occasion, but nothing too serious that disrupt the user experience. It tends to be a little bit sluggish when there's multiple apps opening in the background, but the 6GB of RAM helps a lot, but do remember to kill app when you're not using them. It is important to note that the 64GB model has a UFS 2.1 memory chip, while the 128 model has a UFS 2.2. The latter means faster read and writing speed, which may reflect in the app startup time. So here's a Geekbench score and Antutu score, which for me, it doesn't seem to be that much of a difference if you get 128GB of variant. Playing PUBG or Call of Duty on Redmi 9T is acceptable, although you can't crank the graphics setting all the way up to the max, but the game is still playable at low to mid settings. The phone does feel very warm at rear near the camera area, but that's only when you've been playing games for 2 hours straight without a case on. Well, with Genshin, it's playable, but you see some parts of the game very sluggish, and also the phone gets really hot, and you get overheating warning if you do play it for a long hour. The Redmi 9T features a quad camera setup. The rear camera has a 48 megapixel with f-stop 1.8, 8 megapixel ultra wide angle, 2 megapixel macro, and a depth sensor. The 48 megapixel main camera saves 12 megapixel images by default, and the photo looks quite good. There's more than enough details and accurate colors. The noise is kept very low, which the bright weather does help a little bit. And the dynamic range is quite wide too, not too bad. And the dedicated 48 megapixel option, which can take full resolution photo, although you gain very little extra details. The main camera looks a bit warped, maybe it's just me or the software, I'm not entirely sure about it. The 8 megapixel ultra wide camera shows a wide dynamic range, excellent contrast, and quite lively too. It is a little bit oversaturated. The color is still quite acceptable, which is great and fun to take with. I cannot say the same with the 2 megapixel macro. I mean, sure, you can get close enough to the subject, but the details obviously is not going to be great. And if you use the main camera, have it at 1 or 2 times digital zoom, which can definitely get a better result. The portrait mode isn't bad, but the AIDS detection is actually okay. Sometimes can be that bad, but you're able to adjust the depth after you shoot the image or before you shoot the image. The result is a bit soft, colors are quite saturated, but we are definitely impressed by the AIDS detection here. It is a bit unrealistic to expect good nighttime performance from this phone this cheap, but the dedicated night mode can really go a long way. It takes a second or two to make the needed image and stack them, but the image results are far from what you can achieve from the standard photo modes. But with Gcam, night mode looks so much better. Images are so much better detail, which is pretty impressive, but this is only with astrophotography on, or even without astrophotography off. It's actually pretty good. And not just that, if you use Gcam for regular shootings, it's actually, you can get much more better results compared to the default camera app. The selfie camera features an 8 megapixel shooter with f-stop 2.1. The 8 megapixel front camera, you get quite okay-ish of a detail, a lot of skin to white, plus the subject on the face can remain underexposed and soft depending on the condition though. There's a good amount of details. The portrait mode looks a bit fuzzy around the edges. Again, in ideal condition you can get good result, which can be expected. After using the Redmi 9T, I feel like the larger RAM and storage ain't making much a bigger difference, or even a little, maybe in multitasking area. But at this price you could get the Redmi Note 10, which you can get a newer chip, newer camera system, newer software, almost everything newer and modernized look. Aside from that, thank you guys very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell button as well so you get notified every single time I upload. If you do have any question about the device, do drop me a comment down below and follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, links down below. This is Mark here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!